Unleash the power of purpose with impactful business voices, hosted by Baky and Anita, Larson. Each week, you'll be inspired by stories from companies that are making a real difference in the world, and you'll learn practical tips on how to grow your business with an impact.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back, and thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices podcast with Anita and I. And this is our monthly business lounge episode. Guys, every Tuesday, we showcase different business owners that make an impact with their business on the world and on their clients. But today, last Tuesday of every month, we are always sharing resources and experience to be able to help you grow your business and continue to make an impact where you are as well. So today, we're going to actually provide a lot of valuable information, and we highly recommend that you really get a pen, notepad, and even you might want to even press, come back and listen to it again. But just whatever you prefer, just make it easy for yourself. Be ready to take some notes, and let's go out on this topic today. So we're your hosts. I'm Baky.
And I'm Anita, Larson. So let's talk about the topic for today, because I'm excited. This is so important. And last month, for those of you who paid attention to last month's Business Lounge episode, we talked about creating a compelling message. We shared our conversion formula, our formula to creating messaging that really converts. But we also mentioned that to be able to create that message and to be able to have marketing out there that converts and sells, you need to have your ideal customer profile developed. So this is a step that when we first talk about this with some of our clients, there's resistance. There are business owners tend to have a little bit of fear and misconceptions around what this means. So we're going to address those fears. We're going to talk about what an ideal customer profile is, why it's so important for you as a business owner, and we'll go through the steps of how to create one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Anita. Look, let's dive right in. You guys need to understand that it is something that is pretty crucial for any business out there. Your ideal customer profile, some people know it as ICP, or some people you'll hear it as customer avatar. Let's not just get caught up in the name, but the most important is that we're talking about it's a blueprint of your dream customer. That person who not only wants, but actually needs what you have to offer. So it's a methodical profile. It details everything from what they need right down to the problems that you're solving for them, right? So just imagine you're creating like this 360-degree view of your customer who's absolutely, they have what the benefits that they're going to be getting, what you're offering. So this avatar really becomes your sort of go-to guide. So it has all the bells and whistles, their what motivates them, their needs, even pain points. And of course, let's not always forget demographics. But the idea is once you have this profile, you're going to really understand your market so well that you could make smarter business decisions. And it's almost like having a conversation with your ideal customer. So think about it like that.
Yeah, no, that's very well put, Nancy. And like you and I both said, this is so important. It's key to your business. Well, why is it so important? And you touched on some of those reasons it's important, but which is, you said, we have to understand who they are, right? We have to really know our target audience. We need to be able to communicate with them effectively. And like we talked about last month again, we have to be able to tailor our marketing messages to the problems and the needs that our customers have. If we don't know who our customer is, how do we know what they need and what their problems are? And if we're able to do that and hone in on that, then we're able to make our marketing much more effective and increase our sales. So it's really an ideal customer profile is really the foundation, part of the foundation of your company, along with your mission and vision, knowing who you are as a business and a brand, why you do what you do, and most importantly, in today's session, who you do it for, right? So you need to know who you're going to be marketing your products or services to, who's going to buy your products or services. Now, do you actually have buyers? yes, you have a product or service you want to sell, but is there anybody out there that's really going to buy it? Is there a need for it? And if there is, how are you going to target them? Where are you going to target them? Where do they spend time? Where are they active? How will you address them and speak to them? What's important to them? All these questions are important to answer, and it's part of your ideal customer profile. And I'm sure most business owners out there, they know this and they hear it all the time, that customers today, they want personalization. They want to feel that you're speaking to them and that they're making educated decisions in their purchasing process, right? They want content, products, services that are relevant to them. They don't want, I'll give you an example, which is a weird example, but I used to do a lot of marketing consulting back in the day, and I did consulting for a company that targeted seniors and they targeted AARP. So for the last 5 years, I've been getting offers from the AARP. And even at a time when I was not eligible to become a member because they assumed with my interest in researching their company, I was of age to become an AARP member, which is a great organization, but I was not their target. And I would say another example, I have a very close friend of mine who sends me TikTok messages in Spanish. So now in my TikTok feed, I get Spanish TikToks all the time. So again, this is just the algorithm not knowing enough about me to be targeting appropriately to me. So just some examples. And we all get these things coming to us, whether it's on TV, whether it's in social media, whether it's in the mail. And it annoys us a little bit because we're like, why are they talking to me like that? That's not me. It's not what I want. I don't have any need for this service. I get, dog food ads. I don't have a dog. Why do I want this? Right. So that's the bottom line. You need to know your customer. So they don't get annoyed by you. They get what they want. You shouldn't have a one size fits all approach. And I'm going to quote Seth Godin here. When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, which is so true. So bottom line, know your customer and have a detailed customer profile to help you focus your marketing efforts and your advertising budgets. More importantly, don't waste your money on people that don't need your services. This is going to make your marketing more effective. You're going to know what drives, motivates, and concerns your customers so you can create better messaging, better sales scripts. You're going to know how to overcome their objections. So that's why your ideal customer profile creation is important.
Yeah, that was awesome. Anita, you said it earlier, there's a lot of people that have lots of fears and misconceptions. So let's tackle that one. Sometimes it just boggles your mind when you want to zero in on that perfect ideal customer profile. So we really thought that it was, we hear all these concerns all the time from our clients. So
yes,
just know you're not alone, right? We understand if you got some reservations on it. So first off, guys, some business owners, they worry that by focusing on one ideal customer, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. Like, hey, like it's not going to limit how many customers I can have. That's what they're thinking, right? The answer is no. I want you to think about it as when you really get to know somebody, like really get to know them, you want to offer them something that's tailored. Just look at the example that, the few examples that Anita just mentioned. And you want to offer them something special to them. You're not limiting yourself. You're really becoming that go-to expert for that customer, right? And that's how you build that loyalty. Just because you meet that person at that moment, they may not need it at that moment, but they know in the back of their head, when they have that need, they're coming straight to you. And we look at it as, what's the difference between a best friend and a casual acquaintance? Who do you call when you're in a bind, right? Your best friend or the somebody that you just met?
The people that know you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a second concern as well. It's really about stunting your business growth. You might be thinking, look, if I laser focus on one customer profile, where does that leave room for expansion for my business? But here's the thing. Once you've nailed that one customer type, you can scale that, right? Then you can replicate that success, but start with one, right? As you deepen your expertise and your reputation, people are going to start talking. You're going to get referrals. You're going to get brand awareness is growing. And before you know it, your business is expanding in ways that you haven't even imagined. So in essence, creating a well-defined customer profile, it isn't limiting. It's actually empowering, right? It gives you that focus that you need to actually grow your business sustainably over time. And just know there are some business out there that do have two different products and do two different services. Then yes, we can create another avatar. But if it's just that one, who is your ideal customer, right? So don't be scared. Don't have that fear. No matter what and who speaks around you, just know it can be done. You just need to know the right steps to help you.
Yeah. And so hopefully that helped kind of set the foundation for why we're talking about this today and how important it is and the benefits you get out of it as a business. So let's kind of dive into some of the strategies for how you can develop your own ideal customer profile. And we're going to go into the details of what information you should gather, but let's start with how do you get the information that you need? A great way to start is with your existing customers. So first thing you can do is create customer surveys to learn about who your current customers are, or interview your customers if you have access to them that way. Interview them and learn more about what they need and what their challenges are. Another way to do it is create opportunities for them to provide feedback, like on your website. Look at your feedback from reviews on your existing products or services, on independent review sites. That's another area you can look for more information. And very importantly, if you have a sales team, that's key. Involve your sales team. Well, if you're a brick and mortar, if you have front-facing staff, involve them and find out what their customers are asking, what are clients asking, where are the areas of confusion. And in some areas, you're going to have to generalize or just use your best judgment. You're not going to get the detailed answer to every question. That's just not going to happen. But over time, you're going to get more and more information. And you can use market research to fill in some gaps. I've created a lot of ideal customer profiles over the year, and I like to say that it's about 30 to 40% science. And what does that leave me with? Like 60 to 70% art and the ability to put yourself in the shoes of your clients. You can go out and do the market research to find the demographics. And I often make assumptions like, if I know my ideal customer is on average this age range, I can look into what generation do they fall in and look at the market research for that generation. How do they like to communicate? Where do they spend time? That's a good step to go to if you can't access the information directly. But the most important key is there, once you get the data, the hard physical data like demographics, then you need to sit back and you got to try to put yourself in their shoes and get into their mindset. If this is the person you're targeting, what could they be dealing with? What could they be hoping for? What could their goals be? And it's okay to create that and adjust it over time.
Yeah. And you know what? I really hope that did not overwhelm you, what she said. But this is, again, I know I'm repeating, this is the most important thing for your business, guys. So please take the time to do it. This is not a 24-hour job. This is something that you want to take the time to go through this, because once it's done, unless you change your customer profile, it's set for life for your business. And
unless
really,
you get more information and refine it. Sorry to jump in, Nancy, but unless you continue to get more information and you can refine it and then keep narrowing in.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that in. So guys, let's start talking about the demographics, right? So we'll start building that ideal customer profile that you're looking for. So first of all, a common question that we get is, how many customer avatars do I create? like we said earlier, the answer is one. You really want to focus your time and efforts on that one ideal customer. And it's not to say, like we said earlier, there's no exceptions to the rule. You're right. If your business has different product lines or you different services, and you're really targeting different avatars, yes, absolutely, right. But we recommend that you actually create a visual representation of that customer so that you can envision this person, what they look like, how they act, what they do with their family, right? There's so many different things. But when you're creating that messaging, you're really speaking to them. This is what's going to really help them become real. So use a picture, name the person, make them real in your mind. And note that the questions we will go through, they can really be varied on what you sell, what your business is. And guys, feel free to be creative, add more questions yourself. These are just ideas to help you change the questions as needed. You just want to make sure that you want to gather just as much information as you can so that you know exactly who they are. So that first step is your demographics of your customer. And that's basic information like we're used to, right? Gender, age, professional. Do they have an industry or a position that they're specifically in? What's their income, the household income? Do they own? Do they rent? What's their educational level? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids or not? And if they do, what are their ages? And, are they children? Are they teens? Are they limited to a geographical location? Things like that. And we are sure that if you can come up with some additional questions, just, you'll know, like if you add these and you're like, you know what, I think I need this from a client, just add them, right? These are just the basic demographics information that you need, but take the time to see what else that you're looking for in a particular person that you want to do business with.
Yeah, no, that's really great, Nancy. And it's so important what you said to make this person like real in your mind. I have a client, and we created their customer avatar a long time ago, and that client or their customer avatar, her name is Caitlin, and the whole company speaks of this person as if she is a real person. They never say our customer avatar. They're like, well, no, Caitlin needs this and Caitlin wants this. And it's important that you get your whole company involved in that process and get to know the customer avatar at that level and refer to it the same way. Your sales team, your front end staff, whoever it is within your company that interacts.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about psychographics. And I know that's not as well known as demographics, but it's just as important, if not even more so, especially when it comes to messaging. It's going to kind of tell you what drives your customer. How do they think? How do they act? How do they behave? So some of the questions you want answers to when it comes to the psychographics is what motivates them? What are they passionate about? What are their goals and dreams? And then on the opposite end, what are their struggles and pain points? How can you help overcome their struggles? What solutions are you offering them? And then you got to get into where do they get their information, right? Which helps you figure out their purchasing behavior. So what do your customers do online? Do they shop? Do they chat? Do they learn? What do they do offline? And again, this depends greatly on what type of industry you're in. If you're selling products or services, and are you brick and mortar? Are you virtual? Right? So you got to adjust this to what fits you. But if your customers are offline, where do they get together? Do they get together in church, community groups, online? What websites do they go to? What social media platforms are they active on? Who do they follow? If they're on social media, what are some sample influencers that they may be following? What podcasts do they listen to? And obviously, this list can go on and on and on. I'm not going to add any more to it, but I think you get the idea, and you can continue expanding on those questions, again, based on your business needs. So if it makes sense for your business to market services offline, then dive deeper into what your customer does online. If you are very localized, how does your local market get their information? Are we talking billboards? Are there certain roads that lead to wherever you are localized, right? So think about that. How do customers get to you, and what would influence them to find you?
Yeah. And again, guys, hearing Anita saying this, some of you are going to be like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. And you know what? I'm not going to do it. Look, guys, you're going to be making the biggest mistake for your business.
You're going to waste time and money.
Yeah. And usually I don't even say this in the middle, but I just heard Anita, all those questions. I know some of you are like, oh my God, that's a lot. That's a lot. Again, if you need help, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to support you guys and help you get to that next step, because this is the base of your business before you go get a lead and convert it to a client, right? So you should now, with all the information that we've given you, be left with enough information to basically put together a comprehensive profile to your ideal customer that you could really use to help narrow down who they are, so that you can get to the right messaging and really be able to target that marketing to that right person that you're looking for. So just a few takeaways that we got from our session today. We covered that an ideal customer profile or customer avatar, as you know, is why we need one, how it can really help your business grow. We've debunked the fears of limiting yourself by targeting, a specific customer. Most important, I know I'm repeating, most important. And finally, we walked through that process of how to create your customer profile and the questions that you need to ask yourself and ask them to really get those nitty-gritty answers and really be able to picture that person, that everybody in that company, yourself, partners, your sales reps, if you're that large, that will know that Katie name or that John name, like Anita was mentioning before, and treat it like a real person, because they're all over the place, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like Nancy said, it may sound overwhelming, but it's something you can expand on over time. So start with the basic, whatever information you have now, and then think about, how can I get deeper? How can I get more information from them? So just start jotting down what information you have at the moment, that the people that really respond to you. And something we didn't mention earlier, Nancy, which I also hear all the time, that goes with the fear, okay, I'm limiting myself to one customer. You're not. If there are people outside of this customer avatar that has a need for your services or has a need for your product, they are still going to find you. It's not like you're telling them, I'm not going to do business with you, right? This is just for you to focus your efforts, your time, and your money. Doesn't mean that everybody else is now, cut off from your business. That's not how it works. Just to put that out there. So we hope this was useful information, and hope you were able to take notes. And if you were not, you can go to our YouTube channel at Impactful Business Voices, and this recording of our live session will be there immediately, so you can go watch it back. Or if you want to get a worksheet to walk through and create your own customer avatar, as well as a template that you can plug your avatar in with your picture and make it personal to you, feel free to send us an email at info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com, and we'll be happy to share that with you and send that out to you.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, don't miss out on any of our future episodes. Next week, we're back with Jo Welsh. She's known as the Will Fairy. Jo is a beneficiary best friend. Listen, something new that a lot of us will have probably not even heard of, but not everyone, knows how to talk about to their loved ones about creating a will, let alone where do you start? Jo is a personal guide for business owners and individuals on their journey of creating a will. She's going to be able to answer all your questions, give you many different options, and really make sure that we know the importance of handling our legacy with care while we can. She really opened our eyes to many things. So we're going to see you guys here next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So until next week, guys, go make an impact.
Thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.